You can't even cook. I'm divorcing you. Get out of my house right away. After an accident, I lost the ability to move my left hand. However, my husband, Tyler, brazenly suggested a divorce and even demanded a property settlement. Moreover, he committed an unbelievable betrayal afterward. Crushed by my husband's cold words, I hung my head in silence. Seeing this, Tyler shouted even louder, "You neither work nor do house chores. I have no need for a flawed being like you. Just pack up and leave. Anywhere you go is fine, okay?" Hey, Tyler, are you really happy with that? Against Tyler's harsh words, I smiled back. Then, to mete out retribution against the traitor, I continued speaking. I am Maggie Hill, 35 years old. My husband, Tyler, is 3 years younger, and we've been living a peaceful life together. Although I'm a novelist and work from home, I've kept this a secret from Tyler, not just from him, but from all my friends who've been there for me throughout the years. The reason is that I am such a well-known author that anyone who loves books must have heard of me, even if I say so myself. However, a good friend of mine told me not to tell anyone close to me that I am a novelist. I have a dear friend from my university days, Susanna Williams, who has always been there for me. When I consulted Susanna about wanting to become a novelist, she advised, once you become famous, even acquaintances will come seeking favors. It's better to keep it a secret, especially from family. Thus, I've kept it a secret even from her. Tyler often describes himself as an elite businessman and works in sales for a logistics company. We met through an introduction by Susanna, who is beautiful, so she was popular and had a lot of male friends since her school days. Tyler was one of them. At first, I thought he had feelings for Susanna, but he told me he fell in love with me at first sight and actively approached me. At that time, I wasn't seeing anyone, and with Susanna's encouragement, I began a casual relationship with him. This led to us getting married 5 years ago. On the other hand, Susanna, without meaning any disrespect, had been somewhat reckless in her relationships. Perhaps due to her beauty, she found it hard to settle with one partner and at times dated multiple men simultaneously. Nevertheless, she eventually chose a particularly good match and got married 3 years before we did. At the beginning of our marriage, Tyler had approached me actively and was very protective of me. He would buy me gifts, and we would frequently go out together. He never missed getting me presents for occasions like birthdays and Christmas. However, as Tyler devoted himself more to our relationship, his sales performance, which had always been number one, began to go downhill, and he became frustrated when work didn't go the way he wanted it to. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, Maggie. It's okay, don't worry about it, I'd say. Don't feel too pressured. What, from your perspective? It's someone else's problem, right? That's why you can say such careless things. My words, meant to console him, seemed to have had the opposite effect on Tyler. This pattern continued, creating a rift in our relationship. We barely spoke to each other in our daily lives. I decided to consult my best friend Susanna. We hadn't met in years due to our busy schedules, but we managed to reunite. And that's what happened. What? He's just taking his frustration out on you, right? Can't Tyler be a bit more understanding? Anyway, just try not to take it too hard. Yes, but whenever we're together at home, the atmosphere is so tense, especially during meals. That must be tough. How about I mediate and help you to reconcile? Susanna, really? I'll step between you two, help sort out your feelings, and mediate your reconciliation. I'd be happy if Susanna could help, but I feel bad for involving you in our mess. Why are you saying that now? We've been friends since our school days, right? Plus, wasn't I the one who brought Tyler and Maggie together in the first place? After saying this, Susanna added with a smile, "Don't worry about anything. Just wait and see." She then offered to hear out the situation from Tyler. At that moment, I was truly grateful for the existence of my dear friend Susanna. I felt reassured knowing she was there, even with such a complicated issue. After some time passed, there was a noticeable change in Tyler's behavior. He started coming home late more often. Initially, he would go out for drinks with colleagues about once a week, but without any notice, he began coming home late 2 or 3 times a week. I found it suspicious that he was going out so many times with colleagues, so I decided to ask Tyler about it. By the way, Tyler, haven't you received any messages from Susanna recently? From my point of view, it was just a lighthearted attempt to confirm whether he had heard from Susanna, but Tyler's reaction was unexpected. Huh? Susan? Who? What? You think I'm cheating? What's wrong, Tyler? Tyler was clearly flustered and had lost his usual calm demeanor. It was strange for him to call Susanna, an old friend who should be well known to him, a who. And the most peculiar thing was that he brought up the word cheating himself. I hadn't mentioned anything about cheating. Why would he say that? Wait, I never said anything about cheating. Also, it's weird for you to not recognize Susanna, isn't it? No, it's not like that. Ah, Susanna. Yeah, I remember now. I haven't heard anything. Tyler's evasive response made him seem even more suspicious. It looked like he was hiding something, as if he knew that Susanna had been in touch. Thinking that asking Tyler directly would get me nowhere, I decided to contact Susanna again. However, despite trying to contact her on different days, there was no response. Normally, I would expect a call back from Susanna, so it felt very odd that there wasn't one. As more and more concerning events piled up, I decided to wait and see for a while. After about a week, Tyler approached me with an unusually casual demeanor. Oh, by the way, I got a message from Susanna. She seems to have something to talk about. I'll stop by her place after work, so I won't need dinner for a while. For a while? Why? What's going on? I was puzzled and asked Tyler for clarification. Hey, you consulted Susanna about me, right? So I thought I'd take my time and listen to what she has to say. He then smirked. The way he phrased it made it sound like I had given him permission to spend time with Susanna. It almost sounded like a silent agreement to meet up openly or perhaps even to cheat openly. That afternoon, I received a call from Susanna, whom I had been unable to reach despite numerous attempts. Maggie, I'm sorry I couldn't get back to you sooner. It's fine. You must be busy. I could sense an awkward vibe from the other end of the line, and after conveying a single sentiment, I hung up. I trust you, Susanna. I'll be waiting. I really wanted to trust my best friend Susanna, but from my strong emotions, my words came out more harshly than I intended. Maybe it was a desperate wish to trust her and have her let me trust her. After that, it became routine for Tyler to come home late, and we hardly saw each other in the evenings. I lost contact with Susanna, and though I tried to trust her, my trust was shattered. Susan. Why? What's this? Why? The story ends with a cloud of suspicion, unanswered questions, and strained relationships. The moment I tried to take out the dress shirt that Tyler had asked me to clean from the laundry basket, I was startled. Normally, a shirt would carelessly end up tucked inside a pair of trousers, but on the back hem of this shirt, there was a lipstick kiss mark. It felt like a scene out of a drama. However, the faint beige pink shade of the kiss mark matched the color of the lip gloss that Susanna regularly used. Susanna knew I checked the pockets before sending the shirt for cleaning. If it had been accidentally put there, I could understand, but from the placement, it was clear that this kiss mark was deliberately made. What it means needs no explanation. You know, when I get something I want, I make a big show of it to the person. I'll show them that I got it. A memory flashed in my mind of Susanna from our student days, looking smug after she stole a friend's boyfriend. And in that moment, anxiety surged through me. Looking back, Susanna has always been the type to steal someone's boyfriend or date numerous men. As her close friend, I've warned her many times. I cautioned that if she kept behaving this way, karma would eventually catch up with her. But I never imagined that I would become her target or that she would try to snatch away my husband, Tyler. My body was moving as if nothing had happened, even though I knew I had to get out of this situation. Perhaps there's a part of me that didn't want to accept this reality. Pretending to be calm, I headed outside to drop off Tyler's dress shirt at the cleaners. If I turn left at the main street, there's a dry cleaning shop. As I looked ahead, a little girl, perhaps in elementary school, was walking with an unstable gait. Oh, she looks unsteady. That's dangerous. The girl's faltering steps made her seem on the verge of collapsing. She might not be feeling well, but this was a busy street with bikes and motorcycles speeding past. Feeling it was dangerous, I hurried to catch up with her. The street she was about to cross had many side roads, making it prone to accidents. "Ah, no, watch out!" I shouted as I lunged to shield her. At that moment, I lost consciousness. After a while, feeling a dull pain all over, my consciousness began to return. From a distance, I heard a voice. "Are you okay? Can you hear me?" But before I could identify the voice, everything went dark. Ah, it's so bright. When I opened my eyes, I saw a white ceiling. Simultaneously, I felt a throbbing pain throughout my body. Where am I? I hadn't intended to speak, but the words came out. A woman's voice responded, "You're awake," and called out, "Nurse, she's conscious." I realized I was in a hospital. Several nurses gathered around me, asking my name and how I felt. I assured the nurse that I remembered everything, and she seemed relieved. Then I heard a man's voice, but it wasn't Tyler's. A man looked down at me with a worried expression of face I didn't recognize. The nurse then told me he was the father of the girl I'd saved. His name was Michael Brown, and the girl, Camila, was his daughter. The nurse explained that Camila was feeling dizzy and was about to cross a side street when a car pulled out, and I hit the car, protecting Camila. Camila only had minor scratches and was resting in another room. Her father, Michael, came to apologize after hearing I had woken up. "I'm so sorry for all of this. Because of my daughter's carelessness, you got hurt." I deeply apologize. He apologized repeatedly. "Please stop apologizing. I'm just glad Camila is okay." I spoke while enduring a dull pain. However, the problem was more serious than I thought. Later, Camila came to apologize, and I gave a thumbs up to show I was okay. But then I realized that I couldn't feel my left hand. Had I hit it too hard? At that time, I didn't think much of it and saw the Brown family as they left my hospital room. Afterwards, I was told there would be an explanation from the doctor, so I gave the nurse Tyler's phone number. However, it seemed Tyler was unavailable, so I left an urgent message on his voicemail. He must have checked the message after finishing work because Tyler rushed into my hospital room out of breath while a nurse was changing my IV drip. He approached me, seemingly concerned. "Maggie, hey, are you okay?" I was so worried after hearing the message on my voicemail before finishing work. Tyler's lines seemed robotic, as if he was playing the part of a concerned husband. I remembered he always had a good public face. Then, with Tyler's arrival and preparations in place, the doctor began to explain. "Due to the accident, you suffered strong blows to your neck and chest. Unfortunately, I think you won't be able to move your left hand anymore." "Wait, what? You mean it won't move ever again?" Tyler was shocked at the doctor's diagnosis and immediately asked back. However, contrary to the doctor's regretful nod, I caught a brief smirk on Tyler's face. "If you can't even cook, you're a failure as a wife. I'm divorcing you. Get out of my house right away." Tyler nonchalantly spoke of divorce and even demanded I leave the house right away after the doctor and nurse left the room. Just then, the door opened and the last person I wanted to see walked into the room. "Oh my, look at you, Maggie. By the way, I sent you a message. Did you get it?" With a sigh, I addressed both Tyler and Susanna. "So you two decided to show up together like this. I'm impressed." I presumed Susanna was also at the hospital, probably letting Tyler go ahead, checking on my condition, and deciding the right time to reveal herself. I had noticed Tyler sneakily typing something on his smartphone during the doctor's explanation. If Susanna was far away, she wouldn't have arrived too soon. Their baffled expressions indicated they didn't understand my sarcastic, impressed remark. Facing those two, I continued speaking calmly yet with restrained emotions. So, Tyler, you're sure about this? Susanna, if that's the case, I'm ready to face it head on. But I have preparations to make, so I'll contact you later. Please leave for today. You're bothering the other patients. Tyler seemed shocked at my uncharacteristic calm demeanor. On the other hand, Susanna looked displeased, about to retort but faltering under my intense gaze. Tyler urged her, and they both left the room. The next day, I was moved to a private room. With my left hand's condition, I had to consider my future work. More importantly, I wanted to plot my revenge against the two betrayers. That's when Michael and his child visited me. Today was a holiday, so both had the day off. Michael shared various stories as part of his introduction. His wife, Camilla's mother, passed away from illness when Camilla was 3. Since then, he raised her alone. Camilla has a chronic asthma condition, and after the accident, she had episodes even after using her inhaler. While Camilla tries her best in her daily life, being mindful of her own health and the burden on her father, Michael, there are times she suppresses her own feelings out of consideration for others. Thank you for sharing. Camilla, even as a child, probably doesn't want to burden her beloved father. Yes, that's right. That's why it pains me even more when I understand her feelings. This is my business card. What? Really? I was shocked when I saw the details on the business card. What was written on the business card was the name of the company where Tyler works, and it was even the same as Tyler's business card and department name. Are you okay? Do you feel unwell? Do you know Tyler? Tyler Hill. I couldn't help but ask back with a raised voice. Yes, Tyler is my direct subordinate. Wait, Tyler. Could it be that you are Tyler's? Yes, Tyler Hill is my husband. Michael was surprised and said, Really? What a coincidence this is. I then introduced myself and shared that I was actually planning to divorce Tyler. Suddenly, I noticed that the girl named Camila, who was sitting next to Michael, was dozing off, looking tired. I felt bad for letting her listen to our conversation, so I asked Michael if he should go home. However, Michael said it's okay to stay a bit longer. Please continue if you don't mind. So I continued with my story. I felt somewhat embarrassed to reveal my domestic disputes to Tyler's boss, but I think I wanted the kind-hearted Michael to listen because my heart was hurt and shocked. I can't believe Tyler would cheat. It's hard for me to say this in front of you, but Tyler has been restless these past few months, and the quality of his work has declined. Do you know who the woman is? After being asked, I decided to talk about my close friend Susanna. What? That. After I finished speaking and showed him a photo of Susanna and me from our student days, Michael was taken aback. What's wrong? Do you know her? Do you know her maiden name? Yes, of course. It's Susanna Brown. Brown? Oh, wait. What? I'm truly sorry. I can't apologize enough. Susanna is my younger sister. I was once again shocked by this twist of fate. The stories Michael told about Susanna hinted at a complicated family history. Apparently, whenever Susanna stole someone else's boyfriend, their parents would apologize to the aggrieved parties. I wasn't aware of this, but there were times when she had affairs even with married men. It was hard to get involved every time to solve the problem. Such issues didn't occur just once but repeated multiple times. Her mother, mentally exhausted from all of this, apparently became physically unwell. Upon hearing the story from Michael, I was left speechless due to its shocking nature. However, in this case, Susanna is also in the position of being a married person. However, her husband is often away for work, and it seems that he hardly ever comes home. This might have triggered her old habits. For Michael, it was a difficult situation involving an affair between his subordinate and his sister. "This is no longer someone else's problem," Michael said, suggesting that the families of both the victim and the perpetrator cooperate. He assured me of his full support in taking action against the two. It was a unique proposal, but Michael had talked with their parents about cutting ties with Susanna if she caused trouble again. Susanna is apparently aware of this plan. Neither Tyler nor Susanna knows that Michael is on my side. Tyler probably never imagined that his own boss would support his wife against him. Thus, I found a strong ally to retaliate against Tyler and Susanna. We decided to keep our meeting a secret from the two. I will be hospitalized for a while. I plan not to take any action against the two until the divorce is finalized. Since Tyler has declared a divorce, I expect the process to be swift. However, I don't want him to hand me the divorce papers, so I'll give him the divorce papers first. Michael introduced me to an experienced veteran lawyer. Thanks to him, I was provided with an environment where I could discuss various issues, and he even arranged for a lawyer to come to the hospital considering my medical condition. I truly appreciated Michael's meticulous care and support. First and foremost, I needed to break things off with Tyler. Over several days, I prepared the divorce papers and decided to summon Tyler on the next day off. As expected, the two unsuspecting individuals happily visited my hospital room together. At first, they seemed curious about why I had moved to a private room, but I explained to them that my condition was that serious. "You're such an idiot, jumping onto the road and getting into an accident where you can't use your hand. What are you going to do now, Maggie? You've always been so unlucky since our school days, right?" "That's true." Here's the corrected text with proper punctuation. "It was also bad luck that I went out with you, Susanna, thinking you were my best friend. It was also unlucky that you introduced me to Tyler and I ended up marrying him." In response to my words and calm demeanor, Tyler and Susanna looked displeased. "Hey, what's that about?" That should be my line. I have no use for a defective person like you who can't even work or do house chores. "Pack up your stuff and go somewhere else quickly." Tyler hurled abusive words at me in an almost violently aggressive manner. But I smiled back at him. "Of course, I understand. Here you go, the divorce papers." It seemed unexpected to him that I had prepared the divorce papers. Perhaps he never thought I would agree to a divorce so easily. Tyler was taken aback, but I continued to ignore his attitude. "You should file these divorce papers, Tyler. And since I become defective, I won't be able to tidy up before leaving. I'll have a recycling agency come over to dispose of my belongings. That's all right, isn't it? Hey, do you even understand your situation? You're being dumped by me. What are you going to do after that? What will I do? Why would I care about someone who's going to be a stranger to me, right? Isn't that right, Susanna?" I stared straight into Susanna's eyes. "Maggie, aren't you curious why this happened?" I was shocked by Susanna's insensitive behavior. It made sense, given that she'd stolen someone's husband. She behaved as if nothing had happened. "Susanna, you've always been like this since school, haven't you?" "I'm not interested, but if you have something to say, go ahead." I wasn't shaken by Susanna's words. After all, I believed both Tyler and Susanna had a hellish future awaiting them. Then Susanna started making excuses. Initially, she contacted Tyler as a friend, intending to lend a listening ear, but she found him more attractive than before and couldn't resist the urge to have him. Essentially, she thought if things aren't going well between Maggie and Tyler, why not have him for myself? Although it seems that Susanna's husband was away on a job assignment, in reality, he wasn't returning home because of Susanna's cheating habits. Moreover, the person who provided the information about the affair was a woman whose husband had previously been plundered by Susanna. The weight of her thoughtless sins seemed to be returning to haunt her. I couldn't help but chuckle. This was news even Michael wasn't aware of. I thought I'd share it with him later. Several months have passed since my traffic accident. As I had told Tyler, I entrusted all of my belongings in the house to a recycling agency for disposal. Around the time this was completed, I received a message from Tyler stating that he had filed the divorce papers and had remarried Susanna. Well, it no longer had anything to do with me. A year after my divorce from Tyler, I decided to execute long-planned retribution against the two of them. After carrying it out, as expected, numerous calls from Tyler flooded my phone. I thought it wouldn't be interesting to answer immediately, so I let it ring. I believe that making him wait was also part of the strategy. However, the number of calls was overwhelming, reaching 29 in total. I finally answered due to the sheer noise. Finally. Hey, Maggie, what on earth is happening? Tyler seemed very excited, speaking loudly and fervently. His voice was so loud that I pulled the receiver away from my ear. Since Michael was also sitting next to me, I decided to switch to speaker mode. Oh, you seem quite flustered. Is there something you want to say? I responded calmly and confidently. Yes, I have a lot to say. First, it's about the house. Suddenly, a real estate agent appeared and told me that the house is being sold and I need to move out immediately. It's not just the house, they said all the furniture too. Well, that's expected. After all, the apartment where you live was rented under my name. I don't know the details of the sale, but since we divorced, I just terminated the contract. However, if you cancel within the contract period, you get charged a cancellation fee. So I decided not to renew and just terminate. The property came with furniture, so you can't take it out. What are you saying? Don't joke around. Your name. You weren't working, right? How can an unemployed person rent an apartment in their name? Right. Sorry, I didn't mention. Actually, my annual income is $300,000. I then mentioned the name of a novelist that Tyler loved. That name is actually my pen name. I thought Tyler was an avid fan, reading my works. One of the reasons I decided to marry you. My books had an afterword with the official page Earl, and you could have realized it was me if you visited. Unfortunately, Tyler, you never realized. I was always waiting. I genuinely hoped that Tyler, who claimed to be a devoted fan, would naturally realize that I was the author. After hearing this truth, Tyler hastily checked the official page on his smartphone. Upon seeing the official page, it seemed Tyler realized I wasn't lying. Although I didn't reveal my face, there were things he would recognize. Instead of my photo, I used a cute rabbit plushie he gifted me for my birthday, and it had my initials. Knowing my true identity, Tyler's attitude changed instantly. He cried, pleading over the phone, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me." However, I had no intention of complying. After deciding to divorce Tyler, I had been preparing for this day. I changed hospitals to ensure Tyler couldn't locate me. I also arranged my post-discharge residence. Furthermore, through a lawyer, I gathered evidence of Tyler and Susanna's affair. It was too late to act after the divorce, so I had been asking to find a new hospital and to have a lawyer take action on my behalf. The evidence I submitted included messages from Susanna and a dress shirt with kiss marks, which I had collected. Although I was greatly shocked at the time, not sending the shirt for cleaning turned out to be the right decision. It seemed Susanna believed I had sent the shirt for cleaning. When she was informed that I had provided the shirt as evidence to the lawyer, she was taken aback and seemed to freeze in surprise. Thus, I got a bunch of evidence of the affair, put it together, and sent it to both of them. Meanwhile, Michael was also actively helping. Together with Michael, I shared the evidence. We discovered that Tyler met Susanna illicitly even during work hours. Their inappropriate behavior inside the company car was captured by a dash cam. Michael, his boss, reported this to the company. As a result, Tyler was fired. He was confused about how his affair became known to the company. As for Susanna, when she received the evidence of the affair from me, her parents cut ties with her in accordance with our previous discussions. In the end, Tyler lost his home and job at once, and Susanna divorced him after seeing him as no longer appealing. Tyler, manipulated and abandoned by Susanna, began seeking revenge on her. He posted on Susanna's social media, "Beware of this woman who often causes trouble with men," and attached photos of their assignation. The rumor spread quickly and Susanna was socially isolated with no men approaching her. It's no surprise it's karma. It's also heard that the two of them owe a significant debt to loan sharks and are living under surveillance from creditors. Of course, unable to escape, Tyler was forced into hard labor at a civil engineering company, and it seemed that Susanna was also working in a similarly harsh environment, so much so that she hardly had time to sleep. The two of them kept calling me after that, pestering me, but I ignored them. Later, just to be safe, I changed my phone number and cut off all communication entirely. Thus, my retribution against Tyler and Susanna came to an end. Afterwards, I underwent surgery on my left hand, and it is now recovering. In fact, when the first doctor explained the situation, I had asked him to keep it a secret from Tyler that surgery was possible. Instead of saying surgery is needed, I only had him convey that the hand won't move. I had hoped that seeing the handicap in my hand, Tyler would change his heart and come back, but that gamble was a loss for me. However, now I truly believe that this outcome is the best for me. Hey, Maggie, please become my mother. What a surprise! I was proposed to by a very cute little girl. The proposer is Michael's daughter, Camila. Actually, helping with the retribution against those two was just a pretext. From now on, please let me be by your side and support you. Yes, I was also confessed to by Michael. Camila also adored me very much. According to Michael, Camila has become much brighter than before and has become more communicative. I honestly hesitated about whether someone like me should become a mother, but after hearing her adorable proposal and receiving flowers, I made up my mind to accept. Michael and I also discussed my job, and he was understanding. Now I am filled with fulfillment in both my professional and personal life. Michael, Camila, and my new family are spending every day very happily. Lastly, the author's photo on the official page was changed to a picture of the three of us holding hands. Of course, those three are me, Michael, and Camila. It represents our determination to walk into the future together.